Welcome everyone. Today I have a new last Epoch Season 2 Necromancer automatic recycling summoner build. So looking behind me currently, I'll press my skeleton warriors a few times and you can see they're summoning different minions and zombies and they get resummoned and then my hands are off and it is also still summoning minions automatically. Of course I can manually cast my minions and this will give me even more mana, more warding and also more recovery. We have some pretty hefty damage for a level 70 character, and here is the rotation of the auto minion summoning. And now let's have a look at the demonstration of the replays of this particular setup. So you can see I'm currently level 70 but testing in level 75 dungeons and also echoes. Now of course this build has some great high level scaling, but I'm a little slow in leveling as I was testing the build. So what is this build is that you're constantly summoning your skeleton warriors or skeleton minions and they are getting automatically sacrificed by your skeleton mages, and you're also recycling through the summoning units to automatically summon zombies. And all the minion death will provide you with additional warding, additional mana gain, and also we can have great mobility through teleportations of the skeleton warriors, or skeleton mages. So you can see after drinking the potion, my movement speed is up to 94%. Of course, this also came from a bit of the buff from the Shine, but you can gain even better movement speed with the current build I'm using. There's a number of item choices I'll go through with you guys, but this build was super cheap to get started because I was in the merchant guild. The moment I was able to purchase legendary items without legendary potential, that's when it all started. I was going so fast, actually going back and forth. So, to showcase you guys the build, this is a one button build that all you have to do is pretty much teleport around. If you want more damage, you can summon your skeleton minions. You don't have to because they still get automatically summoned, but of course when you summon manually, you do have a lot more summons and you do a lot more damage. As you summon the skeleton minions, they get sacrificed, and this is pretty much automatic. Great mobility, tons of damage, insanely good survivability, because as the minions die and also as they get resummoned, as I spend mana to summon minions, I am gaining warding. Together with the legendary choice of the helmet, my warding is pretty much always over 2000, and our movement speed can be easily achieving over 60 or 80% movement speed. Because I can blink around, I feel like this is one of my favorite builds at the moment for last epoch. Compared to my other builds, this is definitely a step up from the leveling build, but I'll also teach you guys where and also how to acquire some of those cheaper items on the later part of the video. So, now fast forwarding a little bit to some of the boss fights of the setup. Very straightforward, you're pretty much pressing one button and that is summoning skeleton warriors. You don't even have to press it because they get summoned automatically, but you can summon a lot more because of this. You can see within about 2 seconds the boss is done to the second phase, and if we fast forward a little bit through the phase, you can see once the boss appears, within another 1 to 2 seconds the boss pretty much disappears. So yes, testing this setup for Season 2 and currently I'm having a blast. I do see a lot of potential to improve this particular setup, especially with additional unique items, legendary potential, and also more crafting with better idols and also better buffs. So, nevertheless, let me go through the build setup with you guys and everything into details. And should you want to see this entire replay or have this available for you guys to have a look. So during the testing, I was about level 70 for level 75 maps, and here was just a boss fight that I fought earlier in the game. Now I do want to say a big thank you and also shout out for the player I have been learning with Pixel Aptitude over here. So his guide, video guide, and also his builder's guide is how I started. Now you can see I have used a number of different items to what he was using, and I'm still testing a variety of different uniques. But the original idea did came from him, so if you do want to learn from his previous build, I'll have the videos available should you guys want to have a look as well. Now if you look into the links below, you can see my updated builder's guide for this particular setup. You can see a number of items were purchased through the merchant guild, which is actually amazing to get your initial gears going, and all the items cost me less than 200,000 gold, and that's pretty much it. I farmed all the gold myself and I was able to acquire all the items. So how should we start? Let's start with the summon units and how they interact. And then of course you can follow the builder's guide and also see the most important stats after we go through this. Our summoning skeletons are here to be removed of archers, which I'll explain why. the summoning skeletons can be summoned with more skeletons and once with one cast. So you can see once I press summoning skeletons, I'm summoning 4, and then they get sacrificed by the mages as they fight. So there's a bunch of them, and during the fight they get sacrificed by the mages, and the whole chain of action gets started. Of course, I'll get myself away from over there so it doesn't get too messy. So the skeleton warriors are here to get summoned, sacrificed, and one press of the button should let you summon multiple skeletons. Over here, as the skeletons are dying, they will be providing you with additional ward, additional mana, and they have the potential of recycling themselves. I have also opted for additional chance of summoning Skeleton Vanguard, which give us even more looping as they get sacrificed by the Skeleton Mages. So coming over to the Skeleton Mage for now, you can see that Skeleton Mages can sacrifice Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Rogues, and also Vanguards automatically. I am also using my Skeleton Mages for additional mage and also here for the teleportation traveling spell. So once I teleport, my entire army will teleport with me, and this is great, especially when you combine with the boots that also gives you more teleportation with traverse and also more mini damage. So Skeleton Mages are here to do additional necrotic damage, but they can also be my mobility spell. Later in the game, if I need more damage, I can unpack those and then come over here and also come over here for even higher damage. In terms of my main damage, I am going with the Summoning Wrath. You can also see with this piece of the gear, we also have +2 over here. So with Summoning Wrath, we are permanently summoning them into Flame Wrath, and this makes them permanent together with enlarging them for more damage. I have opted for more necrotic damage together with more critical chance and even higher critical damage multiplier as I get higher levels of this rank. And of course, I have 2 of those permanently casted, and in the fight I'm no longer casting them, and they pretty much always self-sustain in the fight. In terms of my buff ability, Dread Chat over here is amazing to have a permanent buff on one of my Wrath. And this will provide the whole team with additional necrotic damage and also even higher bonus damage. Over here, our centerpiece of automatic summoning and also recycling is with the volatile zombies. This will provide us with additional warding over here, which is great because as more zombies die and also as things loop, we quickly wrap up a lot of warding. So let me show you guys in the fight. You can see I start with about 800 base warding, and now I'm 2000, 3000, and this keeps getting wrapped up. Easily going over 4000, and I can keep wrapping this up with higher ward attention, with more intelligence and also more life. So it is very, very durable because of the loop. How does this work is that our zombies will get summoned when a minion dies, and the minions can be killed. The skeleton warriors are always summoned and then killed by the skeleton mages. The zombies themselves will also be resummoned because of those unique rings I'm using, and this allows me to pretty much indefinitely maintain the zombies. As they die, they get more summoned. Notice the hands off, they always get summoned, resummoned, and then more vanguards get summoned. So this is the automatic loop part. Now, as we summon more zombies, we can even turn them into necrotic damage, which is what I'm scaling with most of my damage, and then giving them more damage, more area of effect is also great. In terms of the passives, nothing too fancy. Opt for 2 points over here to increase the necrotic damage and also chance of getting more damned, which will be providing us with even higher damage with a debuff. Over here, we'll be getting another form of defensiveness through ward retention and also tons of ways of getting more ward. As we summon more minions, as the more minions die, they will also debuff enemies. We'll try to get as many skeleton minions as we can, and this will help us to have even more summons with mages, skeletons, and also higher damage. Over here, tons of great scaling we can go into the later game, and also a lot of flat damage for minions for necrotic damage. Now, coming over to the items of choice, I did mention I'll go through the item with you guys, and I think it's probably easier if I come over here. You can see a range of items that is picked over here that is bought from not the Circle of Fortune, it's bought from the Merchant Guild, and this cannot be traded once you bought them from the Merchant Guild. And most of them were bought around rank 1 to rank 3 of the Merchant Guild, which allows me to really capitalize on using the Merchant Guild, of course. So, what are the essential gears? So the helmet gives us tons of survivability, and we're stacking uncapped necrotic resistance as much as we can. Only 200 over here, you can easily get over 300 or 400 later when you get more blessings, which I don't have enough, and also better gears, and also even legendary potential crafting. Over here for the amulet, I opt for more offense with this amulet. The Death Rattle is definitely one of the most offense unique amulet that can be crafted into the legendary amulet. We get minion damage, minion critical chance, minion critical multipliers, and then we also get another increase of intelligence that also scales with minion damage. In terms of the weapon, I do recommend going with one-handed axe, particularly Soul Harvester. I found this item randomly, but you can even get the exalted version. You have increased narcotic melee damage, increased minion narcotic damage, and over here, you can also find increased minion melee and also increasing minion spell damage, which is going to be the most important effects. In terms of the chest piece, because I'm going with additional summoning of Wrath, I went for levels to summon Wrath. Just happens this one also have increased spell damage for skeleton minions, and then I crafted the rest of the effects into resistance. Now if you guys are not sure about crafting, I will be covering some crafting for last epoch very soon with additional guides. For the catalyst over here, we do want the Flashbound Tomb catalyst, because the base of this catalyst will give us intelligence, minion life, minion damage, which is great implicit. Together with additional minion damage and also minion health, I bought this one for about 100,000 gold. So this is the most expensive piece of the gears. The rest of the legendaries, everything is less than 10 to 20,000 gold. The rings are great. You can use one of those unique rings, or you can use both for additional zombies. It's more carefree if I use both, and it's actually quite relaxing just to get them auto rotating and also auto summoned. This also gives us additional minion spell damage, which can also be great. For the belt, this is not a must-have belt, guys, and I did not do legendary potential on this. This was dropped by the Nemesis. It just happened to have resistance and also health. The reason I'm using this belt is so that I can be gaining haste for additional 30% movement speed just to travel a little faster in the game. Now there are alternatives to the belt. So over here you can see one alternative is to have just a basic minion damage belt. It doesn't have to be this set item. This is an example. Another option is to go for this belt once I'm level 82. This provides me with even more warding for mana spend and also better ward retention. So this is more durable. This is faster, this is more durable, and this just gives us a little bit of damage. In terms of the boots, you do want additional movement speed and also increasing minion damage while teleporting with multiple minions. This is the ideal version. For the gloves over here, I am actually planning to go with those pair of gloves, which the stats of the gloves will go to the minions. But currently, I don't recommend buying those for over 300,000 gold, simply because the legendary version is better, and you do want additional spell damage, casting speed for your minions, and this current version of the unique boots is not unique gloves is not great. So it's cheaper to buy legendary potential than try to craft them onto legendary potential, because my current merchant guild level is too low. I haven't changed my gloves. Finally, as for the relic, this is actually a really cool one. We will be gaining additional ward as minions dies around us, and this is actually great. Together with +1 to all acolyte skills, that is perfect. Everyone gets +1 over here. And this one here, you can see this is how I get to +3. You can also buy a ton of those wavered relics for super cheap in the merchant guild. I bought this one for 1,000 gold, and I pretty much bought a bunch and I leveled those up. I'm buying the ones with over 14 or 15 waver potential, and then I just keep waving on them, and then eventually I hit the over 100% minion damage. So I bought a bunch, and this is the final successful one. And because they're so cheap at the moment, they actually don't need to be higher merchant guild rank. Level 3, I start to buy those, and they're really, really good for even higher damage and some mini skills. In terms of the idols, nothing too major at the moment. I'm recommending getting at least one idol that helps you to summon increased chance of flame worth, because you want to get both of them as flame worth consecutively. Other than that, you look for additional minion damage, additional minion necrotic damage is great, additional minion spell damage is also great, so this is not bad of a roll, and you can get some resistance, maximum health, ward retention, anything that helps with survivability is also great. You can see necrotic damage, and over here more necrotic damage. In terms of blessings, get all your resistance, get everything you needed, and just get everything filled up. At the moment, I haven't had time to clear all the blessings, but once I do, and also may I max my gears, I'll be pushing for higher echoes and also monolith. And that is pretty much for the build. So, coming over here for the skill rotations and also some tips for the build. So one thing you do want to notice, because we have a permanent buff with the Dread Shade, so what I want to show you guys is, Dread Shade is a permanent buff that doesn't kill your minion. You will make the minion more vulnerable, but it's not killing them. So you want to cast this one ideally on the mages or on the Flame Worth. So here, if I cast on the Flame Worth, this will stay on him, on it, and this will buff everybody around it. And that's pretty much it. At the start of the fight, if you go into a map, if you don't have this buff that is activated over here, make sure you have the activated of the Dread Shade, which will give your team a lot of damage. And then after that, you can travel across the map and you can blink around because your minions will follow you and just enjoy life. You can be a little lazy, you don't have to summon skeleton minions and they will just get automatically summoned slowly. If you want a burst of damage and also a little bit of tanky minions, you can just summon them manually. And as you can see, as I blink around, as I summon them, they get resummoned and goes into the infinite loop of increasing minion summons, and more vanguards get summoned, more zombie get summoned, and this repeats. And then I'm also getting tons of energy shield, I'm getting tons of warding and also mana gain because of those minions who are dying and then gets resummoned. And finally, just to show you guys how fun it is, if I come over to this, and if I take my hands, if I've got to press a few times, take my hands off, you can see minion gets looped, and it is pretty fun, and this is pretty much a one-button build for the summoner, and I can have great mobility with Blink, which is actually really amazing. So, I'll keep you guys updated for this version of the Necromancer. I will be going through leveling this myself, and then I'll be looking into other great builds for last epoch for you guys, now that I'm pretty much happy with my Necromancer. Let me know in the comments, guys, or let me know on Discord if you have recommendations or great builds for last epoch. And this is the fun part. Everything gets resummoned and they keep looping. Sometimes they'll loop into more Vanguard, and then this goes further as well with the automatic summoning of minions. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Mattjestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
for the lance, have you? You shall die trying. I am a god.
Now before we finish, if you guys enjoy those last epoch guides, builds, and also tips, make sure you subscribe for more builds and also guides to come. And all of the notes will be available in the links below. I have collected tons of notes for last epoch as we make more guides, and links will be available for you guys to have a look and also, just to read up on the things we talk about in the video. So yes, please subscribe and also stay tuned for a lot more last epoch content. And if you guys have any tips, any advice on the game, I'm still quite new to the game, so feel free to let me know in the game or in Discord so we can be learning together with you guys with more experience.